Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Thanks so much for joining. Ooh, how are y'all doing? Happy Sunday. I'm very excited for this live stream. I really wanted to connect with y'all. I felt that it was really important. We are mid year. We are officially mid year. I'd say in a week it's official, but we're at that point. We're at that point. What a year it's been. We've had a lot of changes, a lot of exciting things that have happened. In the first half of 2024. And I did want to do this check-in because I said in your annual forecast, the first 6 months of 2024, great. The second 6 months you're going to start feeling a little bit of that slow down energy. Okay, you're going to start feeling a little bit of a slowdown. There's a couple things happening as well. Next week, and I'll have your readings out this week on Wednesday. But we do have one of the bigger aspects that's happening. That's Mars conjuncting Uranus. That's going to happen at 26 degrees. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. In addition to that, you're going to start feeling a little bit of the Jupiter Saturn square, the Mars Saturn square. So I really wanted to just get you at this really high frequency as we move into August. Next week is going to be amazing, by the way. This upcoming week, Mars conjuncting Uranus, that's not until July 15th, but you may start feeling that a few days before. How's everyone doing? I want to see how everyone's doing. Really excited. I think that I love getting on these live streams with y'all. I love hearing from you as well. Gonna give some time for other people to get in. Let me do this actually while we wait. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jean. Great to see you, Jean. Hannah Maria. Oh my gosh. Member for 9 months. I really appreciate it. And that's the other thing. I really appreciate y'all being members. It means so much to me. I love building this community. Good morning, Karen, Janice, all of y'all. Oh, this is 1111. I love your profile name. Your first time catching the live stream. That's amazing. Hello, everybody. So, Marty, member for 7 months. Oh, y'all are amazing. Y'all are so great. Y'all are too good. I don't deserve y'all. Okay, so no, I do. I deserve all of y'all. So good morning, everybody. So what I'm going to do to kick off this real quick, I think a lot of people know that I channel. I don't know if a lot of y'all do know this, but if you've gotten a private reading with me, you know that I do channel. And I've got some messages for y'all. And when I channel a lot of visuals, so I can't always keep up. And I did one for this live stream in particular, just messages that need to get across. Some of them will be relevant to you. Some of them just may be like, oh, I don't know if that's me. But first things first, the first message that came through, the fruits of your labor you're about to enjoy your harvest. A lot of y'all are in this place where you are experiencing that now. So it's really exciting that I'm very excited for you. There is a sense of a lot of people receiving the things that they've been working on, or being in a place where they know that things that they've been working on, they're coming. Another thing is, I don't know if some of y'all here have started cooking, or if you find a lot of joy in cooking. That's a message that came through. Continue to celebrate that. I think there is this warmth that comes through if you're thinking about cooking. That's a big message that came through. And Taurus does rule food, by the way. We do have a lot of Taurus stuff happening right now. Even that may be your breakthrough that you have. That may be the breakthrough that you have. So let's see what else. I get a lot of messages. Someone, by the way, someone here may have someone I felt this is significant. there may be someone who you know, like a neighbor, that has, it was kind of like a concrete wall, but not a big one, next to a garage. I think there's something like a little off with it. And you would be able to know because you could see their garage from, I think, like a window, like a backdoor window or a porch or whatnot. The other thing is there is someone here in this room is it's like one of your friends, female, as they might need a little bit of a check-in. They may need a little bit of a check-in, and that also brings a bigger message that came through. There is a little bit of, remember to always be your authentic self. And a lot of that is just being aware in the moment, being aware in the now. That's what enlightenment is. I made up the word awarity. It's clarity and awareness together. All right. So having that, but being more in touch with your authentic self. So whoever that is, it was at a restaurant, by the way, where you may notice it. You may notice there is someone who is needs a little bit of a check-in, and then for everyone else, for the collective, it really is just saying, when I say being more aware, and this is something that I talked about too with Neptune retrograde at 29 degrees. It is going to be a theme that you're going to feel for the year Neptune is retrograde until December. And so it's really just being your authentic self and recognizing anything that may be in the way of that. Okay, almost like not putting on a show for people. If you are experiencing a certain feeling or an emotion, communicate it, okay? Because you don't want to hold things in. All right, I'm not saying any of y'all are doing it. I'm saying this is just a message that came through. There was joy in sound. So anytime you hear sound in a really positive way, I love it when I do these readings and like the church bells go off. You may hear it in your zodiac signs reading, or even in the monthly live streams. Have a moment to just absorb that. Sound is healing. Okay, sound is healing. You can even go a little bit further, and maybe when you do meditate, when you do have the time, listen to a frequency that's really in tune with healing meditation. 432 hertz is really great. There is also I'm going through I have a whole book. I take notes, so while I'm like I have to take notes, but my handwriting is terrible. So there is also I think there's a lot of solar flare activity right now. That's something that was brought to my attention. There, maybe some power outages at some point. So keep that in mind, that, just have a backup plan should that happen. And then it really was, there's so much creative energy in the air right now. It's, a message to really, really follow your heart, really. And when I say creativity, and I mentioned this in a lot of your readings, it comes from the word create. So be willing to create this vision for yourself and to follow that path and to hold on to that path. And it's going to be a really, really transcendent experience for a lot of y'all. There's also someone, I don't know if it's any of y'all. I think it may have been just like a bigger like a chef, like a well-known chef. Really, there was something like signing business. There was something really, really official about it. I forget his name. I think it was what he wears, like flames or something. But there's something really official there in terms of paperwork and whatnot. But anyway, the biggest message is, really, really enjoy the fruits of your labor. Very excited for a lot of y'all who have reached some points where you've been seeking these big moments. You're on your way to that. And then creativity is a really big thing. Sound, it's a big message. Really tune into sound. All right. And that is actually part of something that I'm going to talk about today, is, the power of attraction. And I do try to, as you know, with my readings, it's astrology, it's tarot, it's hermetic principles, it's universal law. Universal law is devised from a lot of hermetic principles, based on hermetic principles. And so I I tried to squeeze in as much as I can, but I thought this would give me a little bit more time to explain when I say raise your frequency, put your energy into. I say this in everyone's readings, but I want to break it down a little more. Any questions so far? To all of y'all wonderful people, all y'all wonderful people. Any questions about anything that I said, anything that I can clarify? Um, Okay, great. So, all right. So, yeah. So, just a quick rundown of what to expect, and I may actually be doing, because I feel really compelled to do this for you, a breakdown of what to expect for the next 6 months. There are some very different types of energies. There's a lot of different, even like some of them are very extreme. There's just a lot that's going to happen in the next 6 months. But I do want you to know, starting in, I'd say mid-July, when we do have that Mars-Uranus conjunction, and then that we are going through those oppositions. There's Pluto oppositions right now. We have Venus, Mercury, and we're going to have the Sun opposed to Pluto. So it really is finding that balance. If you think about the Sun and Pluto being the underworld, so you can think of it as light and dark. You can think of it as ego and shadow. But it really is also like who you are, the transformation that you're seeking, the rebirth. Okay, some major rebirth that you may be going through, that you may be feeling. Okay, there may be this big squeeze right now that is really inspiring you to break free from, certain parts of your shadow side. Okay, there are parts of you that you might like to just keep hidden, but it's really releasing them at your own comfort level. All right, so you can be in touch with them as well, and work with them. All right, because you don't want to have that build up. I talk about this sometimes. Energy, everything is energy. Emotions are energy. Emotions are on a vibrational frequency. Emotion, break it down to its etymological root, emodere, energy in motion. All right, so you don't want to hold on to a lot of these energies. You can feel them through your body, and I say this all the time, your body is a temple, right? So you stress about something, you get a headache. If you're nervous about something, your tummy aches. Your body responds. So you want to work with these energies in a way, again, at your comfort level. There's no trying leaving the station. It's just becoming your more authentic self. And when you're your most authentic self, you're vibrating at a very high frequency. All right. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes, transformations that a lot of y'all will be going through. Okay. A lot of y'all will be going through this month, even August. Don't forget, August is when we have half the solar system pretty much retrograde. All right. When Mercury goes retrograde, Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune. All right. So you really want to kind of do things now, put ducks in a row now. Things are going to be, we've got a lot of other great aspects coming up, but this is just the astrological side. All right. This is just the astrological side. And if anybody has any questions, you can let me know. Y'all need personal readings. Yeah. I will eventually, I'm going to try to go back to those, because I feel like, at this point I am still so backed up, and I really feel, just when I channel, it's a lot of my messages are more for the collective, and I feel like I'm working more with the collective. I have Pluto. I'm an Aquarius. You know that, right? I'm an Aquarius. My midheaven's in Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius. So I'm going through changes as well. I'm Gemini rising. Jupiter moved into Jupiter and Gemini in my chart. So I'm going through some big changes as well. But I also have a lot of other things that are. Any other questions? Okay, so Janice, yes, I'm curious about Pisces and Virgo that you spoke of about next year, a sneak peek. Yeah, it's just the nodes. The lunar nodes are so we always want to follow the transit of the moon, right? And so the phases of the moon, and they're just points in the sky. So it really is kind of like your destiny, what you've got to let go. There's a big change and a big shift that's going to happen when we leave the Aries Libra, like the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. They are shifting. Okay, they are shifting to Virgo Pisces next year. So that's going to affect everybody. Everybody's going to be having a little bit of emphasis on something, different. For instance, if you are an Aries, right, North Node in your sign, so you're going through Aries. We're going there's some big changes. Some big changes. We had a new moon total solar eclipse in Aries this year as well. There's some big changes happening. But then when you think about the South Node in Libra, remember Aries is I am. Libra is example. That's your seventh house. So there's a lot of ways that could be shifting your relationships, partnerships with other people. It could be that there's a perspective that you've had that you're letting go. There's a certain way of thinking that you're letting go. There's something that is changing in that area. Okay. But again, everything really comes down to your actual chart as well. So I hope that answered your question. But yeah, there's got to be some Virgo Pisces activity, and it's got to be very different. Especially because Aries is a fire sign, Libra is an air sign. We're moving to earth and water, Virgo being earth, Pisces being water. All right. And so remember, well, I'll tell you now, next year is going to be one of the most pivotal years of the decade. Okay. It is going to be absolutely big. It's going to be absolutely. One of the reasons why is because we have all the outer planets shifting. So we've got Saturn moving into Aries, Neptune into Aries. They're moving in just for a few months before they go permanent in 2026. Okay, well, for in their places. And then we do have that, Neptune Aries conjunction in February 2026, which is a whole other thing. But again, so next year, Neptune moves into Aries, Saturn moves into Aries, Jupiter moves into Cancer. Pluto is still freshly new in Aquarius. So we consider that still a transit that's happening. All right. Because remember, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for 20 years. So when Pluto moved into Aquarius this year, it's only moved like a degree. It's slow. It's slow moving. You're going to start feeling it more and more throughout the years, more in your lives. All right. Pluto will it'll go back into Capricorn at the end of this year for a little bit. Okay. And then permanently into Aquarius. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. All right. So any other questions about that? Meg, congrats. I love it. You're going to first date with someone today. That's amazing. Good luck. I'm very excited for you, looking to really tune into my intuition here. Yes, absolutely. Always trust your intuition. That is going to, I say it all the time. It makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. Dottie, you say today's a 7-7 portal. Any recommendation on what to do other than mediate? I think you're saying I think you mean meditate. Well, 7-7, everyone does everything differently, right? And so I think that, and I think that what I do, what I talk about, is going to really resonate with you. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, so Katie, you asked, can you explain the difference between listening for your rising versus listening for your sun? Yes, the rising is your ascendant, is where the sun was on the eastern horizon when you were born. When you track the movement of the planets, that is your rising. So that's what I always say. I do the video on the rising sign. So when you actually read when you have your reading, your horoscope, you want to read your rising first, because that's going to be the most relevant for you, your ascendant. But then it doesn't mean that your sun isn't. I say it's 50-50. It completes the story. You got to throw your moon in there as well. it really, really completes the story. And so you're tracking what's happening astrologically, right? With your rising, the sun is just there, and it represents a lot of things. But I know a lot of people say that you could only have to read your rising. It's really not true. I think that I've even given the example that for me, I'm Gemini rising, I'm Aquarius sun. Okay, now we just had Jupiter in Taurus for the past year, and so for Aquarians, that has to do with your fourth house, domestic life, your domestic sector, moving, things like that. Every time Jupiter was in Taurus, I moved every 12 years on the dot, every 12 years. And so there's your proof that the sun is accurate as well. Now, it's again, a lot of things really do depend on your chart. This year, I did not move, but this was a year where I ascended and started looking into property. Okay. Looking into property. I've never done that before. Real estate, it's a whole other ball game. Y'all know I'm saving up for my parents. They're looking to buy a home. I'm, looking as well just to, see if that's a possibility for me. But I love New York City. Anyway, big thing. And also, it was the year that I became so like a lot more closer to my family than I have, I would say, in 12 years. I saw them a lot more frequently. We had a lot of great moments together. So remember, family's part of the, your parents are part of the, anyway. So you get what I'm saying. Okay. Diana, you said you've been having really intense lucid dreams. Are these dreams trying to warn me something? Well, that's where you trust your intuition. So what's really interesting about that is that you can have a lot of messages come through your dreams, lucid dreams as well. Okay. So it really is how you interpret it, the feeling that you get with it. I think I've said before, there's a difference between watching a scary movie the night before and having like nightmares about it. Like, that's just like from the movie, right? But then, you could have like a nightmare, you could have dreams where you're like, okay, something's happening here where I have to really, really, really pay attention to it. Okay. A lot of my dreams that I've had personally, and I get a lot of messages through my dreams. I have my guides come through my dreams. A lot of them have been repetitive. They've been, very, very home related, very interesting, me living in a different place. And so that's why I'm listening to those messages. What is, what is the message that I need to take from them? Okay. So I hope that answers your question. But it really is more trusting your intuition, really trusting your intuition. That's going to make the biggest difference. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. So, all right, let's get started. The biggest thing that, and I talk about this in every reading. I try to repeat this in every reading, no matter what sign you are. I always say that, right? Vibrate at high frequency. Always try to, listen to your inner voice, be in touch with your higher mind. And I talk about energy. Okay. I talk about energy. It is a spectrum. Everything is made of energy, everything down to the molecular level. The higher the frequency, that's the direction you want to go. If you consider it like a spectrum at scale, however you want to see it, there's low energy frequency, there's high energy. This is vibrating really low. It's slower, higher frequency. If you think about spirit, that's like fast frequency. That's fast. So these energies radiate, and so the higher the frequency, the more that you do attract the things that you want. And this is basic law of attraction that has been talked about for thousands, and like this is not only we can talk about universal laws, we can talk about hermetic principles, we can talk about ancient civilizations, even in their cave drawings having pictures of sound is frequency, something that I just talked about. But it's also quantum physics. It's also quantum physics. Everything is made. everything vibrates to exist. Okay, everything vibrates to exist, and you are a magnetic force. Your heart is a magnetic force. So this is a matter, when I say vibrating at a higher frequency, this is you tuning in to that frequency. Okay, this is listen, when you talk about manifestation, and I know a lot of people know that word. I know a lot of people say I'm manifesting this, and you maybe go through your Instagram feed, you see a lot of posts on manifestation. Here's the truth of it: you're already manifesting because you're already vibrating. It matters how high you vibrate. That is why people say manifest is. It's asking you to really vibrate at a higher frequency, and because you're already vibrating, you're already attracting. Everyone's already attracting. But do you see, when you go toward that higher frequency, you attract more of the things that you want, more of the things that you want to manifest. Think of your high frequency as just being magnetic, okay? And so when you think about that high frequency, what gets in your way, right? What is it that may be blocking you from achieving that high frequency, listening to your inner, being in touch with their higher mind and attracting to things that you want? Well, it would be blockages. It'd be blockages. And that's why we talk about the path to enlightenment. You can consider that, think of it as a road, right? Think of it as a road. And everything you want is at the end of the road. But then there's all these big rocks. Maybe there's like a parade happening. Maybe there's, I don't know, a tree that fell over. Those are blocking your path, okay? And so think of whatever's blocking your path as low energy frequency. And usually it's inside you. There's something inside you. And that's why we do talk about, self-sabotage. We talk about the, comfort levels, even the words themselves. So here's the thing. To sum that up, you're already vibrating, you're already manifesting. But in order to really, really vibrate, to really attract the things that you want, you have to go toward the higher frequency. And that is everything from, everything that you would imagine is associated with that. And that is being your authentic self, that is being your higher self, that is having gratitude, that's having love, that's having nothing that is blocking you from any of those things. Okay, even forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness is part of that as well. Forgiving yourself, forgiving other people, even if it wasn't their fault. I do that all the time, and that's why intuition really matters. You can say that, let's say, for instance, I'll give you an example. There was, I have, a friend who was just got in a really, really big relationship. Aries, by the way, Aries. And one of those relationships where, when people do that, when they're in this really big relationship, it's something very new to them. And so they just vanish, they disappear. You never see them again. You never see them again. So this is someone who was very busy, moved in with this other person. This was a relationship that was going really well with them, but at the same time, I know that this friend of mine was going through some really, really extreme experiences because it was the first time that they've had this type of opportunity. And so the communication was just off, just not returning phone calls or texts or any of that, and that's something where it can be frustrating if that happens to you. And so what I did is, because I just used my intuition, I just kind of really kind of tuned into where that person was at. And so I forgave. I was the one who apologized. I sent a text saying, I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to, to communicate better. Let's have a, and boom, right then, instant phone call, 2-hour conversation. And so sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that, being mindful of other people based on your intuition. Okay. Based on your intuition. I always say, be responsive, not reactive. You always want to listen to your inner voice. And so this is something that is also humbling. It's an exercise in terms of patience as well. Patience is a virtue. We talk about that all the time. But this is, and always go at your comfort level. Always go at your comfort level. And I say that because everyone's going through changes all the time, right? Change is the only constant in this world. This is a big month of change. July is a really, really big month of change. Go at your comfort level, but keep going. It was Confucius who said, doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you do not stop. All right. So when you go at your comfort level, you have that time to tune into your intuition, to tune into the frequency that you want to be at. Okay. And again, that is just being your authentic self and letting things go that get in your way. Now, when I say letting things go that get in your way, I'm talking about these low energy frequencies. All right. Now, low energy frequencies, powerless, empty, depressed, indifferent, feeling abandoned. So listen to those words. Listen to those words. Okay. They have a weight to them. They feel like anchors. They are low energy frequency words in themselves, right? That's why you never hear me say those words in your readings. You'll never hear me say those, okay? Unless I'm saying something like, I want you to feel empowered instead of powerless, okay? So that is what energy is. Those are energies, and those are energies that can hold you back and pull you toward this end of the spectrum, this end of the scale. All right. And those are those energies that you want to let go because they're holding you back from this higher frequency that you are perfectly capable of being in and vibrating in all the time, every day, all day, every day. Now, one thing that does happen is when I say energy, and I talk about this a lot because I think it's worth repeating many times. You heard me say the words, they are low energy frequencies. Now, remember what I said, everything is energy. And so when I say everything, that is words that come out of your mouth. That is the thoughts that you have in your head, okay? Words that you write down. You bring them into your reality. I say that all the time. You create your reality. You don't want to bring these low energy frequencies in your life. You want to let them go, okay? And so one of the reasons I bring that up is because sometimes we do that. We can do that in haste. Remember, sometimes we can be reactive. Sometimes we can feel impatient. Sometimes we can feel frustrated in the moment. But there are times where when you take that pause to really trust your intuition, to go within, you'll be able to release these energies, okay? Because these words, again, have weight to them. They're very powerful. And then you create your reality, right? You create this reality with this low energy frequency. And, even think about it. Sometimes I do get messages, I do get comments, and I do read your comments. I want you to know that. I think a lot of y'all know that I work full time. So I wish that I could respond to all of them when you leave them. And I encourage you to read them because I love hearing from you. I try to, when you do have, when you do get promoted, when you have found your soulmate, when you have, got a raise, everything like that. I try to, leave congrats as much as I can, birthday messages. Like I do my best. But I do love hearing from them. So I always want you to comment because I also, nothing really moves me when I see someone leave a message and then all of y'all are supportive and say things that are just so really special and really foster this community, but also raise someone else's frequency. It's so nice. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I'm bringing this up, because I do, like I said, I do still get messages where people will say, well, nothing happened for me this week. Nothing's happening in my life. Remember what I just said. You're creating that reality. You're speaking those words into existence. And so that is you pulling yourself toward these low energy frequencies. So it's really flipping the mindset. It's flipping your mindset and knowing that things can happen for you. Okay. And that is, part of that self-sabotage that, we all do it. We all have had experience as children. We're human beings. having a human being experience. There's a reason why we feel every emotion. There's a difference between the conscious and the subconscious. We all do it. But again, it's recognizing that, okay? It's recognizing the fact there are 730 hours in a month. You cannot tell me that nothing good happened for you in those 730 hours in a month. So flipping your mindset, that is going to make a big difference. Imagine yourself at a dinner party. Imagine yourself with friends. Imagine yourself being at the water cooler with your colleagues. Everyone's having a great time. And then you just say, well, nothing ever happens for me. Nah, my life is terrible. Think about that. Think about that energy that you're putting into this environment, this energy that you're creating that is bringing everyone else's energy levels a little bit lower, okay? But there's, again, that sense of recognizing you've got to release yourself from these low energy frequencies if you feel them, okay? Always have that more positive mindset. When I was young, actually, how are y'all doing, by the way? Are y'all leaving? I see a lot of Sharon, your Aquarius rising. I love it. Tiki too. A lot of Aquarius risings. I love that. Back to back. Okay, so what I was gonna say is something that comes to mind is when I was young. Well, I think I was like 18 years old. I think I was like my first semester in college. I had come home to see my family, and I didn't have a car. And this, we still lived in Marietta, Georgia. Anybody know Marietta, Georgia? We still lived in Marietta, Georgia, but I would go see my friends in Atlanta all the time. I had so many friends in Atlanta. And I remember driving out there one night, just, meeting friends, I forget where it was at the time. And we were just, having, a tea, coffee, I forget what it was, but it was at night. And when I had left, I went to the parking lot. And of course, out of all the cars in the parking lot, someone had bashed in the driver's side window, okay? Completely shattered, glass everywhere. Of course, it was my car targeted. I was all the way in the back, and I you can see why, because it was, under a tree, but it was away from, the actual place that we were at. And so, and there was nothing in the car. It was like a Nissan or something that, they wouldn't have got, maybe a pack of gum, whoever did it. But I remember feeling so ashamed. I felt so angry. I was felt so fearful because I was like, what is my mom going to say? Because during that time, that was a year that was really hard for my family. And we were going through a lot. My parents were going through a lot. And so I started already imagining the scenarios, building all this fear, all this worry, all this just like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And now I have to like tell my mom this has happened to her car. And I remember calling her up and I said, Mom, and I was like shaking, like, so, I'm here and someone broke the driver's side window. It's gone. I'm really sorry, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she just said, well, I guess if you just got to fix it, get it fixed. And in that moment, I realized we had already gone through a lot of it was a hard year. We had gone through a lot of stress that year. We had gone through a lot. You could even say, when you think of like rock bottom, right? There was that moment. And so in that moment, I realized, what was I was creating so much fear for something where I learned from my mom, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. We're going through some bigger life experiences. Just take care of it. Just take care of it. And I always think about that moment sometimes when I get in those places where I'm already envisioning this fearful future, whether it's a conversation that I have to have, things like that, right? I think about that moment I've already gone through the worst of the worst. How bad could this be? And so, again, it is all about flipping your mindset. Flipping your mindset. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to do that, like thinking about like the worst thing that happened for you, but just know that fear is something that we create, right? I think I've said it in the last, I say it in a lot of your readings. Fear is fiction. We create it. We create it based on that self-sabotage energy, based on those low energy frequencies that we're starting to feel. And so if you can always vibrate at a high frequency, nothing's going to be nothing, everything's gonna be water off your back. All right. So that's how I approach things now. If there are situations where I'm like, oh, this is coming up, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to happen and I'm going to experience it. And let's see, what I can do after. And so it is really, your mind is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. A lot of it is feeling that, and that's what tarot's for. That's what astrology's for. It's to guide you. It's to guide you. That's all. That's all. Okay. To raise your frequency. Okay. To really be in touch with your intuition, help you guide your intuition, help you be, in touch with your higher self, to really connect with, whether the universal laws, the 12 universal laws, 7 hermetic principles, power of attraction. Okay. You always want to vibrate at that high frequency. Always want to vibrate at that high frequency. Any questions? We're getting deep. We're getting deep. And remember, and I say this too, what is this up? We all have the subconscious, right? A lot of those low energy frequencies come from our subconscious. So we've already planned out what's going to happen, right? Because based on things from the past. And so if you take that example of, the car situation with my mom, like I based the outcome on what had happened in similar experiences in the past, where my mom would have yelled at me, where she would have really, gone all, wildcat or whatnot, tiger mom. And so that's what created that fear. And it's all in the subconscious. So it took me time to recognize that and unroot it. And that's why I say a lot of times, based on some cards that come up in your signs or your readings, unroot things. Take that time to unroot those things that are blocking you, that are holding you back. Okay. And so we can create a lot of, the outcomes. And again, it's all frequency. It's all frequency. So if you think about the outcome of a situation and you might be worried about or get anxious about, it's because the subconscious, it's something in the subconscious that is based on experience that you had in the past that is recreating that moment. So if you can work with that, you're going to see it as the best outcome. Okay. You're going to see it as the best outcome. And if it doesn't match that frequency, you're going to say, well, I did my best. I did my best. Okay. So always having that positive mindset. And I want you to know, by the way, I'm going to get really meta here. This is going to be, I'm going to do a little exercise for y'all after, but I want you to know, when you think about time, I'm bringing up time because Chronos, Saturn is retrograde. There's a lot of Saturn stuff happening. But anyway, when you think about time, the past, present, and future are all happening at the same time. You are here. So that's what I'm saying, is that the past is done. So I literally just said the past is done. That is now part of the past, right? I'm going to touch my mic. It's the future. It's all happening now. It's all happening now. You're here. You're now. Okay. That is what enlightenment is. And so when you're more aware in the now, when you're more in the now, when you're more in the present, you're good. You're good. And I say that in every reading because I want you to vibrate at a higher frequency, because you are good. Everything is good. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. Go at your comfort level. Go at your comfort level. Okay. I know this is a lot. I'm giving a lot. And what are y'all talking about over here? Jezebel, it's your first time live. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. All right, so let's see. Like attracts like. Diana, you're saying like attracts like. The universe will give you the frequency you vibrate at. Yep. Positive affirmations. And the now, I am thankful. I am abundant. I am whatever you want, as if you already have it. There you go. Diana, you are you're a psychic. You just said what I was about to say to close this out. DJ PTV, DJ BD, DJ BTV. When watching for a rising sign or moon sign, I'm Aquarius sun, Virgo rising, Pisces moon, and you say things about how a planet in your third house, etc. Do we take that in like sun sign? No. Well, so again, that's where it gets to it would be more rising. Remember, rising is more about the movement of the planets, okay? But it can still resonate with your Aquarius sun, all right? It can still resonate for that as well. It's 50-50 here. It's 50-50. Moons are emotions, by the way. Moons are emotions. Feelings, even represents your mother. So I hope that's helpful. I'm looking at your other thoughts become things. Yes, Cynthia. Hi, COC. Crystal, you say you're Gemini sun, Capricorn rising, Leo moon. Lots has happened for you since July 1st. Of course. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very excited too. See your enthusiasm. I feel it. Okay, so Stacy, you said, I'm going through immense loss. I understand and feel your situation. Yes. And then that's what I'm talking about, is that we are all having a human experience. We all here on this planet at the same time for a reason. If you want to go deeper than that, we all chose to be here. We all chose to have this experience. And that is the human experience. Nobody lives forever. Nobody not ever gets sick. Nobody, do you know what I mean? Like, that is a human experience, and it helps us evolve, and it helps us learn and become more human. Okay. COC, can you do a personal reading? Your readings are always reside with what is happening in my life. I'll let y'all know when I'll get to that point. Okay. I'll let y'all know when I get to that point again, when I can open up again. Michelle, you said your mantra is I'll figure it out. Love it. Love it. Love it. Janice, you said I agree. In the past, went through crazy low frequency. I've been raising it. Things are doing so much better. There you go. There you go, Janice. You got it. You got it. Tiki, you said I really needed to hear this. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that, and it really is something that, and I'm gonna do a little exercise for y'all. Okay. I'm gonna do a little exercise for y'all, but I do want you to know that a lot of it is, sometimes our egos come at play, and that's just what life is, right? We can talk about, ego, super, like all day long, a lot of things, but it's just more becoming aware of what you may be doing that's preventing you from vibrating at a higher frequency. Now, I'm not saying any of y'all are doing anything like that, but if you feel that you're not attracting what you want, it's recognizing what might it be? What might it be? Okay? Because, there are, I even say, we live in a time where sometimes we, blame ourselves for things. We blame ourselves for things. You walk down the street, someone bumps into you, you say, I'm sorry. Like there's a lot of things. I mean, we get really psychological. I'm minored in psychology, by the way. I'm minored in psychology, but a lot of things that really help that I've learned that help, healing, spiritual healing, Mindfulness is forgiveness. Okay. Forgiveness is a big thing, but also forgiving yourself. Okay. I had a really long period where I was forgiving someone very close to me, where there was a lot of, we were not at the same frequency for decades. And I realized it was a lot of things that I knew that person would never apologize for or whatnot. So I forgave that person. And once I did that, because it was the grudge that I was holding as well. And once I did that, wow, we were here. Once I forgave that person, here. Okay. Here. Remember, I say it all the time. Sometimes you want to be the better person in this situation. Well, you always want to be the better person in the situation, but sometimes you will do things where your ego doesn't want it to. All right. But in those experiences, I learned is you discover a lot more about yourself, and you realize there are some things that are just not worth it. We have one life. We have one life. Okay. And so you want to live it in pure joy, and we're all connected. We're collective. We're a collective. So one thing that is really great is asking yourself, "Have I experienced joy today?" If you haven't, what can I do to experience joy today? All right, have just 20 seconds, 1 minute, just something that brings you joy. Always, that's gonna raise your frequency. Okay, and like I was saying earlier, like we're all human beings. We go through a lot of experiences. There's no human being on this planet in the history of the planet that has not gone through a human experiences. We're all here to have this growth. Okay. A lot of it is spirituality. And spirituality, I say it all the time, it means something different to someone else. Like for Cynthia, it would mean something different to Cynthia than it would to Kay, to Stacy, to Nicole. But it's what it means for you. Okay. It could be, something as simple as love, gratitude, selflessness, joy. It could be your, this meaningful life experience that you're seeking. It could be you knowing, the frequencies, right, that I was talking about, knowing the difference between dark and light, and moving toward the best version of yourself. It can be that joy. It can be that high vibration. It can be being in touch with your higher mind. All of that. But it's growth. It's this spiritual growth where your frequency just do. A lot of it's really great in nature, by the way. Yeah, a lot of it's really great in nature. FYI, I say it all the time. Touch a tree. Don't even just take off your sock and put your foot on the ground. Put your foot on the ground. It works wonders. And we can talk about, the science of that too, but I see the time here. But that's just something that we're disconnected from a lot. And some of it's circumstantial. Here I live in Brooklyn. There's not a lot of nature, but I do every day. I make sure I go to a park, the riverside, whatever it is, just to connect. Just to connect. Okay. It feels really good, and you putting your foot on grass, it feels good. It feels good being in nature. All right. I think there was, I forget what report it is, and I'm very like data driven, but there was a report saying that from the beginning of our human experience, like we spent, I think it was 80% outdoors, or like we were designed to spend a lot more time outdoors. Now I think it's like 2% is how often we spend outdoors. But when you connect with nature, you really, I mean, that's Mother Earth. Okay, that's Mother Earth. um Anybody have any questions? I know I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, Pauline, thank you so much. This is your first live too. Oh, and you're a Virgo. Like, oh, that my mom and Ruby's a Virgo. I love that, Pauline. I love that. That's so, and that I'm a Virgo moon too. I was telling, I said it earlier. My mom, with my mom being a Virgo, your moon also, represents your mom. Like, it's funny. I'm very much, my thinking. It's like my mom. You're having a big year, by the way, Pauline. But thank you so much. Mary Francis, you say love your readings. Your Taurus rising, Aquarius moon, Pisces sun, barely 1 degree, barely 1 degree. Is it 1 degree or 0? Are you at a critical? Well, you're a critical degree. Do you have any thoughts about this algal star conjunction with Uranus on July 15th? Yes, I talked a little bit about it. I didn't want to like talk astrology. I just more about like connecting with y'all, but I did talk about that a little bit in the beginning. And the readings that I'm going to drop on Wednesday, yes, I talk more about. Yep. July 15th, July 16th. And one thing that I want you to know is that with that said, on Mars, when Mars conjuncts Uranus, that is a really big aspect, okay? And I say it in, some of your readings. And I know a lot of y'all are cross watchers. You watch for your rising, your moon, your mom, your, boyfriend, whatever it is. You'll notice that I try to keep them all different because I know that a lot of y'all are cross watchers, and I try to say different things sometimes. But Mars conjuncting Uranus on the 15th, it really is possibly the biggest aspect of the month, one of the biggest of the year. Again, 2025 is going to be a major year, like 4 planets, outer planets changing signs, but there's a lot of other stuff happening. But yes, it is. It's. I talk about it in your weekly readings. And be safe. I said in the last live stream, you can think about what happened August 1st, 2022. That's the last time Mars conjuncted Uranus and Taurus. Okay. So think about what happened around that time. Remember, Uranus is all about surprises, the unexpected. I mentioned in my last live stream, I woke up with this really crazy, like tennis elbow pain. I had to go see a doctor. It was like a whole thing. But it is one of those aspects where it's very like accident prone as well. So just be mindful that day. Everyone just be mindful that day. It's a big aspect. But now it's in its 3rd decade. So anyway, I talk more about it. Okay. So Amy, you say thank you for your positivity. It's helped me tremendously. Singing love from the Middle East. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. That's what I'm here for. Okay. And thank you so much for being a member, Amy. I love all those emojis that you threw up. Cynthia, I need to have my birth chart done. I have no idea what I am. I mean, I do. I'm a Capricorn. You're an awesome one. Of course you are. You're a Capricorn. Listen, I have another surprise. I got some guests lined up. Now I'm still organizing the schedule, and this is because I think it's just a little bit more exciting than me just talking about it in a video, talking to you, versus me having a conversation with someone about these things like birth charts, like rising signs, like some of these bigger aspects, like, even like the Hermetic principles, law of attraction, things like that. I think it's more fun, more lively. So I'll let you know when that schedule, when I start nailing those dates. Okay, so I'm looking at the time here. So one thing that I wanted to leave you with this visualization exercise. It's something that I do every day. It's also something that I will say in your readings sometimes when I feel compelled to it. Obviously, well, not obviously, but you may notice that sometimes I channel in some of the readings. But again, when you throw astrology with tarot together, it gets a little bit like the readings get really long. And I have 12 to do a week in addition to my job. So I'm going to try to, incorporate a lot more of that into it. Now, this exercise will not take more than a minute. Okay. So are y'all ready? Give me a thumbs up. Now, it's going to be very, very simple. Very, very simple. I want everybody. Oh, wow. Church bells are going off. You probably can't hear it because the air conditioner's on. Do y'all hear it? Perfect timing. Oh, it's right at noon. Okay, so everybody, visualization exercise. I want you to do this every day if you can. Okay. Now, I want you to close your eyes. All right. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. And I want you to think about the one thing you want the most. All right. The one thing that you feel deep in your heart, deep in your soul. It could be publishing a book, making more money at your job, finding a soulmate. What is the thing that you know you are put here on earth for? What are you manifesting? What is that frequency that you want to be in tune with? What is the finish line, the big goal for you? The thing that, again, you feel deep in your soul. Now, I want you to visualize yourself in the moment that it happens, okay? If you want to be a published writer, picture your book on the shelves of a bookstore. Making more money with your job, picture yourself receiving a raise or that promotion. Think about that feeling, that excitement, being able to set money aside, or finding your soulmate, being with that person. Picture that moment right now, okay? What does that person look like? Where are you at? So, as you visualize this, can you feel the smile on your face? The sheer joy in your heart? That excitement? Ooh, it feels good. And this is you connecting with the future that will happen for you. This is the frequency that you're tuning into that already exists. Okay. It's what your heart desires. Bring that moment into your awareness. Feel good knowing that it is going to happen. This amazing future. And think about this every day. And when you think about this every day, you're raising your frequency every day and you're getting closer and closer to that. You are tuning into that frequency, to that moment that you picture for yourself. It is already happening. It is in the now, and you are that energy. Okay. It is a place of gratitude. It's a place of love. It's a place where you are being your authentic self, being in touch with your higher self. Now, open your eyes. I hope that felt really good for you. I hope that felt really good for you. And I hope that you're able to use that exercise every day. I said I do it every day. Okay. I do it every day to always vibrate at this high frequency. All right, y'all. Oh, COC, thank you so much. Oh gosh, you're amazing. Y'all are so amazing. What would I y'all are amazing. Um Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all your messages. Thank you so much for being members. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. And I'm really, really excited to. I'm going to do this more regularly. I'm going to do this more regularly. Again, I love connecting with y'all. And I feel like I just don't have enough time in your weekly readings and monthly readings to talk more about these bigger things, more about spirituality and spiritual growth and trusting your intuition and everything that we talked about, Okay. Oh, Amy, you're right here in Abu Dhabi. Janice, thank you for your posts and your energy and your guidance. This is the most accurate frequency high ratings I've ever listened to. Oh, wow. That's great. You have a great rest of your Sunday too. Thanks so much. And I hope that was helpful for y'all. I hope that was helpful for y'all. Crystal, and so it is. Amy, you said I couldn't pick just one, so I kept two, and you said the two. Great exercise. I think you caught my wavelength. Thank you. Yes. Y'all, okay, so thank you so much. I gotta go eat. I need to have my brunch. Who thinks brunch is overrated? I read a story recently. Brunch is overrated. I'm like, no, that's my favorite thing in the world. Breakfast for lunch. That's my favorite thing. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here again. I'm dropping your videos on Wednesday for the weekly reading. And then, and we'll do this again. Did y'all like this? It's okay. Y'all like this? Y'all want to do this again? Let me know. And let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about. I think there's just so much to discuss. There's so much that I would love to help you with, and help you get to the place that you want to get to, and encourage you and empower you. All right. Also doing the channeling. I love doing that. And I can always do that. But I hope that this was really something that you could use and enjoy. Oh, y'all. Okay, great. I'm glad. Okay. Marty, you just recently forgave someone and they don't even know it. That's the best. That's the best, right? When you have that meditation and you're forgiving someone and you don't even tell them, but your experience with them changes. It's such a great feeling. I love that. Okay, so y'all, thank you. Oh, One Hit Wonder, thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all are so amazing. Gail, you said you're a proud Gemini. Your adult son walked out of your life 17 years ago with a wounded ego, never looked back. Will I ever see him again? Well, you'd have to look at your full chart. It's also like the experience. Remember, use that if you want to. Use the visualization tool that I talked about. Okay, y'all will see the difference it makes. Yeah, it's so powerful. You'll see the difference it makes. Okay. Okay. So y'all, I gotta go. Enjoy your weekend. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. One hit wonder. Thank you again. I love all of y'all. We'll do this again. I'm very excited. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. Bye-bye, y'all. All right. Bye-bye.